excuses. So while we load up here, get ourselves together, actually, we're going to be talking about no excuses. How's that? No excuses. All right. So I seem so far away from y'all. Like maybe, I don't know. Maybe that's just how. Are we ready, gentlemen? Okay. All right. So I want to talk about, since we've been talking about next level, we want to, the only way you're going to get to next level is to put away or get rid of all the excuses. And you have to, when you go to God, you have to go to God if you believe He can do all things and He can do all things through you, then you have to remove yourself of the excuses. Does that make sense? All right. Because excuses gonna always be there. You either make a way or you make an excuse. And for those that make a way, it's because they don't let excuses be the excuse. All right. Does that make sense? All right. So I want to take a little tour in the Bible tonight in my time and look at um, different characters throughout the Bible that didn't let excuses stop them, even though they could have. Okay, even though they could have. So, if you don't mind, while we let our audience come in, we want to talk about giving up all your excuses and draw yourself to Romans 14 and verse number 12. Romans first 14 and verse 12. And it reads like this: so then each of us will give an account of ourselves to God. Very simple. Each one of us will give an account to God. In other words, there's a record of you that it won't be mama can speak for you. It won't be grandmama or whoever, uncle or auntie. You have to give an account for yourself. Everybody understand that? You have to give an account for yourself. So one day I heard Dr. Tony Evans put it this way: it's like a video recorder, and then it gets rewind and plays back before you your life. And in that, one day God will compare. And He's not comparing you to others, it's you to Him. And we all know we fall short of that, and that is going to want to know it's not how long you live, it's what you do while you live. It's not duration, but donation. And what God is interested in is what you do with the time that He gives you, the time that you're allowed. And the thing is, you don't know when time gonna run out. That's why you got to do what you can while you can. Okay. So as we look throughout the Bible, Abraham, Abraham was old, but he didn't use old as an excuse. Jacob was insecure. Leah was considered ugly. Joseph was abused. Moses stuttered. Joshua suffered, okay, the loss of a loved one. Gideon was poor. Samson was sure enough codependent. Rahab was immoral lifestyle. David had an affair. All right. Elijah was suicidal. Jeremiah was depressed. Jonah was rebellious. Naomi was a widow. John the Baptist was eccentric. Peter was a drunk and a hothead. Martha worried. Thomas doubted. Timothy was timid. And Paul had some kind of poor health. But yet, none of them let that stop them. Does everybody understand? And just in case you don't hear yours in there, we can find you too. But the thing is, the only way you make it in that list is if you don't use your excuse to stop you. You won't make the list if you use your excuse because you stopped. So there is no excuse not to serve God. Okay? There's no excuse not to serve God. So I got a quote here, and if you are on your devices, I put it up. It said that this is a quote by George Washington Carver, and he said 99% of all failures come from people who have a habit of making excuses. And I think that's still true today. 99% of all failures come from people who make a habit of making excuse. And that's why they fail, because they allow excuses to stop them. They allow some kind of excuse to make them quit, some kind of excuse for them to turn around and go back, or for them to give up. And with that, that's why they end up failing. So for the rest of our time, I want to talk about something I read in a book by Brian Tracy. And the book is called Change Your Thinking, Change Your Life. Okay, let's put that in the atmosphere. Y'all say that. Change your thinking, change your life. So in his book, he talks about 5 steps to personal power. 5 steps to personal power. And he breaks them up this way: idolize, idealize, verbalize, visualize, emotionalize, and realize. And that's the 5 steps. And so, what I want to do tonight is take each one of those steps and add a little hot sauce on it. Okay. So, we'll understand these 5 steps, and then maybe you can look to apply them to your own life. All right. Can we do that? All right. So, the first one is idealize. Ideal lies. So when we think about it, the way he talks about doing this is to take each key area in your life, your personal life, your family life, your career, your health, all of that. Take these key areas in your life and develop some kind of mission statement, some kind of plan, some kind, lay it out. And that way you can keep now the boundaries in which you need to work in your family, your church life, your family life, your personal life, your financial life. And the thing is, you've heard that saying, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Y'all have heard that before. Well, the thing is, in our lives, we don't take time to look forward and then draw out what you want to be. The book of Habakkuk says to what? Write it down and make it plain. Okay, write it down, get it in you, make it plain. And the thing is, we don't do that with our lives. We let somebody else do it for you. So when someone else goes and they got their vision, they planning on you, but they planning on you working for them to help them carry out their vision. I'm not faulting them. And it's not their fault if you don't have a vision for your own life. So you have to be able now to draw out, map out. I say it this way. Ivy Hilliard says this: if you're going to live in your future, then why not plan that future? Why not live in a future that you plan? Why not do that? Draw it out. And you got to have your own ideal of what that is you would like to see. So he says in this, a clear definition of exactly what you want, where you want to be, what you want to accomplish at some future date. There's a study out in a Gallup poll that says they tracked 1,500 highly successful people. And in that, to their amazement, the survey came back. Most of them did not define successful people by their IQ, by how smart they were in school, by what good grades they had, or how good they could do mathematical equations. They did not define them that way. It says here that the top people identified intelligence not by IQ, but by behavior. But by behavior, the way people act, the way people think, the way people now respond to things. And those are the people end up being successful. It is said that they define intelligence as the ability to systematically eliminate those time consuming activities that did not help them achieve their goals or move them away from their goals. Intellectual behavior was defined as doing only those things that move them toward their goals. So you can be super smart, but if you keep getting distracted, if you keep getting emotional, if you keep getting whatever, making bad choices, you end up never reaching your goal. So you're going to have to now put yourself in. I talk about this in the morning, how you got to now look at your circle and make sure you have people in your circle that's going to now encourage you, that's going to lift you up, that's going to be able now to help you move along. Because everybody go through some kind of turmoil, some kind of trouble, some kind of pain, and they need somebody else. So the first one there is idolize. The next one is he talks about is verbalize. Verbalize. Okay, get it in your spirit, verbalize. And he says here, verbalize, successful people verbalize the person they want to be, the things they want to do, and the goals they want to achieve. How do they do that, Uncle Donald? They do that by positive affirmations. They do it by, in other words, they learn how to say things about themselves personally that's positive. Are y'all hearing me? See, so if I'm gonna talk about me, I'm gonna make it positive about me. I don't know what others saying about me, but what I'm gonna say myself, it's going to be positive about me. In other words, I happen to like me. You know, I see good in me. And I'm going to do these positive affirmations now. And then in that, they are understanding that it's not a past tense, it's not a future tense, it's a present tense. See, because if you're going to say, I will be, or I'm trying to be, that's future tense. See, if you're going to keep talking about what you was, that's past tense. You got to talk about what I am. Like right now. All right? Quicker than a rat. Right now. This is what I am. And you got to speak positive over your life. You got to speak positive over your life because nobody know you better than you. So he talks about this. Successful people never start caught, and then we mastered this in our communities, where we say things like, I'm trying to make it, I'm hanging in there, I'm just trying to get by. No, if you see yourself and you see yourself successful, then you got to speak. No, listen, I've already arrived. I know how I made it over. I ain't even wondering how I made it. I know how I made it. And you got to start verbalizing positive confessions over your life, verbalizing positive affirmations. And whenever I finish this little booklet, Eve and I are putting together, it'll have plenty affirmations in there. I hope y'all practice them. You know, we say things like sometimes I used to tell the church all the time, it's like we're afraid to say, I am the righteousness of God. But you say you believe that, but you're afraid to confess it. I am the right. Why? Because you think in past tense. You're not thinking like right now in your present. You're thinking about your past. I am the righteousness of God. I am blessed and I'm highly favored. Are y'all feeling me here? And you got to be able to speak that into your life. So if it works for a lie, it'll work for the truth. Because Joan just told some of y'all that with the ordination, that you could speak certain so much over your life that you believe your own lie. Well, if you can do that in the negative, that means you can do that in the positive. You can do that in the positive. But the thing is, we will rather speak the negative over the positive. And that's what we rehearse. Okay, the next one is visualize. Successful people visualize the things they want. Unsuccessful people visualize the things they don't want. Now, I'm telling you this is gospel. Because many a times when we are upset, when we fussing, when we frustrated, when you love someone and then someone you love do something you don't like, you're quick to say the part that you don't like, but then call them what you don't want. And what you end up saying, you're saying you love them over here, but now you're calling them wicked and lazy over here. But wicked and lazy is not what you want. So now you have to visualize with your verbal. You have to visualize them. See, I always tell people this. You have to look for the Christ in the person. Because if you look straight at them, you're going to find something you don't like. And that's what you end up verbalize. So you have to look at the Christ. When you're going now to confront somebody, and I'm using confront because I want to make it a little stronger than talk to them. When we go to talk to them, that's one thing. But when you're going to confront, that means it's heightened a little bit. Well, when you're going to talk to somebody, but more so you got to sit down with them and we got to talk. One of them kind of things. You have to go and see the Christ. Because if you just see them, then your flesh gonna talk. So you got to use visualization even with your own life. On your life. So even when I am not doing, say financially, I'm not doing, or I'm not where I thought I would be, you still have to visualize yourself already there. Now you say, well, Pastor, I'm not there, but you can be there spiritually. You can be there in your mind. People can imprison the body, but they cannot imprison your mind. And if you define your success just compared to other people, then you end up frustrated because you're not matching them. God never called you to match them. He called you to match him. So you got to be able to visualize yourself. Visualize yourself. And a lot of times what happens with us is when we see somebody else do something and we figure we can't do it like them. We can't sing like them. We can't pray like them. We're not successful in business like them. Then we end up quitting with excuses because now we don't see ourselves. All we're looking at is them. And that is one of the reasons why Jesus, and I'm talking about Jesus part now, where he came in human flesh, was to show you and I that you can do this even in a human body. Because if he only did it from now the unseen, then your mind can't grasp all of that because it's not on the scene. So he decided to come and let the word become flesh and show you you can go through the hurt, you can go through the pain, you can go through being rejected, you can go through being ridiculed, ostracized, you can go through people talking about you, spitting on you, and do all of that and still end up victorious. So the Bible tells you, fix your eyes on Jesus, who's the author and finisher of your faith, who for the joy that is what? Set before him. So you got to understand where your eyes need to be, and you can visualize. They say if you can look up, you can get up. And you have to be able now to use your mouth and then use your eyes to be able now to visualize success. It said here, you project your mind forward and you create a clear picture of your ideal future. Man, that's where I live. That's where I live. I already got house picked out. I could see it in my head. I already ask them when they talk to me. Nope, I gotta have this big yard. I gotta, because I understand my future. I don't want my future to be what somebody else's future is for me. Because, ladies and gentlemen, let me be straight up with you. They ain't gonna never give you what they got. You fine as long as you're beneath them. And that's just the way the world is. And you have to understand that is why you want to live out what God has for you and not what people has for you. Y'all got that? Okay. All right, let me finish so I can stay true to my word. The next one is emotionalize. This requires that you create the feeling that goes with success. All right? You're idealizing, you're verbalizing, you're visualizing. All of that works together for you. You channel your emotions into energy and fuel. Don't you know anger is an emotion? Do you know it takes a strength? It takes a whole lot from you when you're angry. You know, when you're angry, you have to now take your emotions and now channel them into an energy. So in other words, when someone does something to you, someone says something about you, instead of you getting mad, you got to learn now, you know you're not what they say. You know you're not what they talking or thinking. So you got to take that. It's like an athlete that takes the criticism and says, you know what? I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you. And see, now they fuel that. They fuel those emotions instead of them getting upset, which ain't going to help you play better. But now they fuel it into an energy that now allows them to be what? Successful and drives them towards their goal. So everybody has she motions and emotions. We all have them. The thing is, you can use your emotions effectively, or you can use your emotions negatively. So if you allow them to let you always be moody, let you always be upset or sometimey, that's what we used to call it, sometimey and all of that, then you end up now frustrated, and then eventually you end up quitting. You have to channel your emotions. And then lastly, family, it is realized. This is when you actually achieve your goal and everything, all your dreams have come true. And they have come true because you did not quit. You did not give up. You did not give in. You did not break down, because you're not built to break. All right? Amen. And I say that with all the sincerity. You're not built to break. You may bend, but you're not built to break. And you understand that he did the most, the finality of life is death when you come to death on this side. And the thing about it is he took away that sting. So if he took away that sting, ain't nothing else can have that victory over you, because he's taken away the sting of death. And he's saying, listen, so even we say, well, Pastor, we're gonna die. See, but even in death, there's victory if you are a true believer. And so even that didn't overcome you. You come to realize now that you come full circle. And won't God do it? Won't God do it? And see, you look back on life, and as I close myself out, Reverend now Anderson, as I close myself out, won't God do it? See, won't he do it? And see, what happens is you look back on life and you look back at your situation, and then all that's, it's like a woman. And again, I never been pregnant, I never had no child where I had to deliver. Okay. But it's like a woman in childbirth. All that pain in delivery, but once the baby is here, it goes complete opposite. Go to complete opposite. All right. Some of y'all help me now. Help me. All right. It go to complete opposite, and they're calling you all kind of names and frowning and mad and all of that. But after that, it goes from that to jubilation. All right, you follow what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is, all of us now, you may not understand why God has you going through what you're going through. But your job is to keep the faith and don't quit. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. Because it is like I tell you, and I've told y'all this numerous of times. That is why I love the book of Eli. Because all the stuff he had to go through, all he was focused on, he told me to go west. And as long as I know he told me to go west, and I'm still living, I'm going to keep going west until I arrive at that destination. So my encouragement to you tonight is let go of your excuses. Let go of your excuses. Don't go to God with an excuse. And really, it's an embarrassment. It's an embarrassment to go to the Father and you got an excuse. And then at the same mouth, gonna say he's all powerful. No, what you have to do is let go and let God. So I say to you tonight, let go all the excuses. All right, been another edition of our word study. Hope y'all had a good time. God bless you. God keep you is our prayer.